Hello and welcome to Tyrcast 25. My name is Heri Johansson and I am the singer and guitar player of Tyr. I'm talking to you from lovely old Bohemia, where Czechia, the city is, in which I am also.
And I am Hans, and I'm talking to you from the Faroe Islands in Fami.
And I'm Gunnar, bass player in Tyr, if you want to know. Still playing the bass. Woo. I'm tickling it. And I'm here in the Faroe Islands.
Und ich bin der Schlagzeuger in Tyr. No, I'm the drummer of Tyr in Budapest. Hello, I'm Todd.
You say Schlagzeuger, shouldn't be Schlagzeuger?
Yes, it
Is
should
that
be.
dialect or am I wrong?
It is. It is. Well, it could be Berliner accent and also Northern German accent. So,
Hamburg
Hamburg.
instead of Hamburg.
And not
Hamburg.
Zug, but Zug.
A train?
Ja.
Zug?
Der Zug.
Really?
Der Zug ist zu spät.
Verdammte Schuck.
This is the 19th episode of our second season. We put out these episodes on the 7th and the 22nd of each month at 1700 hours Central European Time. I hope you're watching this on Spotify. If not, you may be... That was very stupid. I hope you're watching this on YouTube because you can't watch stuff on Spotify so far as I know. You have to listen. Well, you can look at the artwork while you listen to something, but that doesn't really count. So you might listen to it on Spotify podcasts or Apple Podcast, Google Podcasts, or Buzzsprout. You could also be listening on patreon.com/tierband, where you have early access to this, plus some extra behind-the-scenes material. Skål.
Scott.
I just came back from Ukraine. I was
Lovely
there
country, isn't it?
for 10 days. Kiev is one of the nicest cities I've ever seen.
Really?
Yes. It reminded me of, well, this city actually, Prague or Budapest, Krakow, those kind of cities.
I have to say,
Beautiful city.
I have to say,
Paid attention to it.
I've been twice or three times to Kiev, and once with you guys, we were playing on the outskirts. And
Yeah, I checked where it was. Pretty far from
that
center.
part was not really very welcoming, if I may say so.
I can tell you there are much less nice parts of Ukraine than that. much less. But Kiev and Kiev Center are amazing.
Yeah, we didn't have time to go to the center, so yeah, I believe you.
I think we only played in Ukraine twice. This one time, Oscary Festival on the outskirts of Kiev, and the one in the hills, Carpathian Alliance with the cable cars. Remember, Gunnar?
And did the hills have
Very
eyes?
much. Yeah.
No, but they were alive with the sound of metal,
That was a very interesting
better.
concert.
to say the least.
Do you have a good story for that? Or from
Oh,
that?
I do. I do. But am I allowed to tell it? I don't know.
Just tell it. Let's press
Go
our
ahead.
luck here.
Well, there was this girl, and she was completely. Oh, that's another
Oh.
story. Anyway. No, I just remember when we had to go up there, we had to carry all the equipment, and we just had to stand there ready to get on the on those
A ski
Sling.
lift.
ski lifts.
Right.
That was very interesting, and it took a while to get up to the top.
45 minutes, if I remember correctly.
Oh, it's not that long.
At least half an hour. Freezing.
Half an hour maybe. Anyway, that was interesting, but the best part was going back down again after the concert. I remember Terje sitting with the keeper player from what's the name? Finnish band.
Moonsaro.
Moonsaro.
Yeah. And first of all, he puked while hanging way up there. and the keeper player of Moonsaro, he's a funny guy and a heavy drinker as well. Partier. And he just said to him, "What's wrong with you?" Like, why the hell are you puking? and I also remember hearing the conversations because they were at the back of me, and he was asking this keeper player, tried to make some conversation, and Terry does not talk that much. And he said, "So, what kind of keyboards do you play?" And he answered, "A black one, sometimes a blue one." And that was I mean, that was a very nice conversation.
Sounds like him.
And after that, Terry pretty much didn't say much more. So,
Moonsaro. Long time ago since we've seen those guys. I miss them.
yeah.
Not even that long. It was back in 2018 we played with them the last time, I think.
Yeah,
those-
in
but those are very
Norway,
short.
right?
In Norway, at Midgardsblad.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Only met them for about 10 minutes. Quite busy. But talking about Moonsaro, on exactly the 31st of October 2011, that is almost precisely 10 years ago, we made our YouTube channel, or we announced it, and put up our first video, which is a very short and silly 9-minute video of us rehearsing in the rehearsal room at Øresundskollegiet in Copenhagen, where we started the band. I'll put a link in the upper right corner here so you can see it. We were on our way to the Dead Tyrants European tour, which was actually with Moonsaro and some other bands, which I don't remember. And we also played a festival called Helheim in Finland on that trip. Do you remember that tour, Gunnar? Or the Helheim festival?
Oh. Yeah, I actually do remember the festival now. Wasn't it up in Oilo or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, then
We
I
were up there, yeah.
in a very big hall.
I remember nothing except Oulu. But
I,
I might if you jog my memory.
I do remember this place because it was a very big hall. We didn't use the whole thing. We just used a part of it. And yeah, I remember this.
Who else was on the tour with us except Moonsaro? The Norwegian guys, Trollfest, or was it?
I think it actually was was it Trollfest?
Might have been.
Because we went to the stage, right? We went to the stage.
Not on that one. Not with the Dead Tyrants. Yeah, well, actually, I don't remember. Might have been we did.
Because we have been with Moonsaro and Trollfest at the same time in the States. That I remember.
I just remember that Moonsaro had just released their Apocalypse album. It has a Finnish name. I can't really remember. Something about the dead as the Walking Dead or something. In Finnish. They had this very drawn out, long, apocalyptic, epic ending. If you remember, they leave the stage one by one, while playing this extremely heavy, doomy riff.
Have
Ring a bell?
the apocalypse now. Don't wait till later.
But
Exactly, that's the one.
wasn't that the album which contained only 2 songs? Both songs were like 25 minutes long.
No, that was not the one. That one was
Maybe the
before
earlier.
or right after.
Right before that
Yeah,
one. I think.
that was not the one. No,
Yeah.
this one was. This was a really good album, I thought. Moonsaro was really only the really black metal band I like. They're a bit folky, I suppose, but I think they're more black than folky.
They have some really good stuff.
Yeah.
And the songs, it's kind of, you get drawn to it. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's very well put together and Anyway, speaking of our YouTube beginning, I just looked up out of curiosity who was the first one to subscribe to the Tour channel, and it was a guy with a name, Mjolnir Smash Your Face in one, MJOLNER SMASHURFACE. And if you're out there, Mjolnir Smash Your Face, we'd love to get in contact with you and send you something in return for your support over the years. So that was a fitting name for the first subscriber for the Tour channel. I remember we were on this tour and I bought a small camera. I don't remember where I bought it. Very cheap, like silver Canon camera, I think we all bought one, at least Terry bought one also, just to start making videos for YouTube, because YouTube and Facebook were just starting. I'm not even sure we were on Facebook back then, but there was something called MySpace.
MySpace,
Very old school. Hans, do you even know what MySpace was?
Yeah. I didn't spend much time there, but yeah, I knew of it.
Looking back, us neither, because it went down pretty fast, or just went out of use, and Facebook completely took over.
Yeah.
So look at us now on YouTube and Facebook and everywhere.
Look at us now.
In this video, you mentioned Gunnar had a very, very fitting comment when he arrived to the rehearsal space, and you just focused on his face, and Gunnar says, "This is just going to be a waste of time and too much editing work." No, this is gonna be great. Look at us now.
Yeah.
Yep.
It did take a lot of time. Editing is a lot faster now than it used to be.
Of course, yeah.
But now we're going to outsource that function. And the quality back then, I made some videos when we were in studio for Land, I think, about 10 videos. Terry made some as well. It's ridiculously bad quality, and none of us are filmmakers, so it doesn't look that good. But it's still around, and it's a nice reminder of how things were back then.
I remember that album perfectly well. I spent most of my very last day with my head talking in the big phone.
You made quite a few videos from
the big porcelain phone.
Yeah, the big porcelain phone. And today still go, huh?
What now?
I was puking my ass.
Porcelain phone. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Was that on when we recorded Land?
Yes, that was the very last. That was the very last day of Land. The night before, it had been this where you burn the witches. It's called.
The midsummer Danish tradition of
yes, and at that time, and at that time there was a kind of a farmer living by the studio. He actually owned the whole place, and he invited us over. And we drank Gajol shots. I remember this well. It tastes really good. But boy, my body did not like Gajol shots. Jesus. So I was quite sick, I remember.
I remember that too. I remember we were packing and you were wearing the sunglasses to cover your eyes from the reality. And you had packed a little handbag, and you were walking over to put it in the car or the bus, a van we had, and your hairbrush fell off your handbag and you were bending down to pick it up, but you got halfway down, you just no, never mind, and you just left the hairbrush on the floor. And I don't know, one of us picked it up for you and gave it to you, but you were not gonna go down there and get it.
And the best thing of all was I was so insanely hungover the whole trip. We had to drive. I had quite a long drive to the ferry to the Faroe Islands. So you know what you think when you're hungover. Oh, I'm never gonna drink again. Fuck this shit. I'll never do this again. And I was insanely sick all the way to the boat. And when we finally got on the boat, we went straight for like a buffet restaurant. I had a little bit to eat. And suddenly I felt really good, and it did not take long, and we were sitting and having a very nice cold beer.
Hair of the dog that bit you. But I mean, I had a very similar experience when I was recording the drums of our very first LP with Darietta. That was back in 2004, maybe 3. And that was actually, I mean, we only recorded two EPs before that, and I had almost no studio experience. I mean, like I said, only 2 EPs, and this was my first bigger job as a drummer in the studio, and for some reason we thought it would be a great idea to invite some friends down, some musicians friends from a different city here in Hungary. The band is called Aggregator. They're still around, by the way. They play like this Göteborg style death metal or heavy metal or whatever. And they just came down. And we were drinking until, I don't know, 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And I had to be in the studio at 9 or 8 a.m. to set up the drums. And I mean, I was shaking. I couldn't even grab the drumsticks. I mean, it was horrible. We recorded 3 songs, and we had to delete 2 of them because it was just so horrible. All the drummings I did on that day. We actually kept 1 song, but they were quite mad. I mean, the people at the studio, all the others, they were my bandmates. They were sleeping until, I don't know, noon or something, and they had a big old laugh. The drummer. Yeah, well. So no, that was a one-time thing. So guys and gals out there, if you want to go to the studio and record an LP, don't get pissed, hammered, or smashed the night before.
You know, people never learn until they do it by themselves.
Oh, yes.
Apparently.
Yes, learning is the hard way.
Oh, yeah. God. I mean...
In Ukraine, they don't offer you a drink to the breakfast, but they offer you a drink with just about everything else.
Well,
yeah.
My
been there.
God, I've been drinking the last 2 weeks.
Dumbass. Jesus.
They have this horilka homemade, or I suppose it's produced at an industry level also, but much of it, what I had, was homemade, and it's nice, like 2 or 3 drinks a day, but then it just, some of it came up again. Put it like that. Yeah. Extraordinarily friendly people.
So you enjoyed it twice?
Gotta love Ukraine.
There and back again. Yeah, I mean, one of my...
Down and up again.
One of my most horrible, well, not even horrible, but most adventurous nights has happened in a hotel and around a hotel in Ukraine as well, after a festival we were playing at. Maybe this story is not for this podcast right now, but I'll get back to it one day.
we need to make a separate podcast called Hangover Stories, and
Yes.
we need to include Terje.
Oh yes. By the way, we should invite him. We talked about him several times that we should invite him.
Yeah.
When he's not saying, "Are you still talking?" then he has some quite nice stories.
Hey, we'll make a podcast called Yes, We're Still Talking, or something like that. Still talking. While I have everybody here, including our audience, let's go over the upcoming shows that we have. Just to remind people where they can see us and where they can get tickets. There's the show on the 26th of February in the Faroes, in Luxhut in Runavik. We're playing release show for the symphonic CD and DVD and LP that will be released, and we're also playing making it 20th anniversary for the first album, How Far to Asgard, which was released in January 2002. If you're interested in seeing that, you can find tickets at atgongumerkje.fo. That's atgongumerki.fo. I will put a link in the description. I'm not sure the next thing I have in front of me is announced. Should I say it anyway?
I think
I will.
There are no more announced shows apart from the ones in Australia. But I mean, what harm
I may
be?
have said too much on the last podcast because I did mention some other ones. Hey, let's give people who listen to this podcast some advantage.
Right.
And just mention it. If there's any hell to pay for this, I'll take it on myself. On the 4th of March, we play at Viborg Metal Festival in Denmark.
Nice.
And on the 6th of March, we're going to play in Oslo.
Which March?
We hope to have... That's 6th of March.
Uh-huh.
We hope to put a show in between those, somewhere in Denmark, Sweden, or Norway. That will be the 5th of March in between. And on the 14th of March, we play at the Hard Rock Hell Spring Break in Great Yarmouth, UK. That's been announced, definitely.
Right. Yes.
Then there's the Samarok on the 4th and 5th of June. It's in France somewhere. It's been postponed twice. They have not re-announced us yet, but I'm pretty certain we'll play at that this year as well. On the April 1st, we are back in Oulu, Finland for the festival that is called... I can never remember what it's called. It has a very, very weird name. I think that's announced too. I'm not sure. Then there are the dates in Australia. From the 5th of October to the 9th of October in Brisbane, Canberra, Sydney, Melbourne, and Adelaide. Find tickets at overdrivetouring.com. And there are more dates to come next year, I'm sure of it. So
maybe Perth? Perth? Perth?
Not gonna happen. Perthians have to go to Adelaide to see us. Same with New Zealanders. I'm sorry, have to go to across the ditch to come and see us. So
that's a very deep ditch.
Not like the pond we have here. That's what we have. And hopefully there will be more for next summer. Not terribly much more, but a bit more definitely. And we will announce it here for our lovely supporters and viewers as soon as we have it. Maybe even before we're allowed to announce it. That's it for that part. we're only up to 25 minutes. So if you have more subjects, now's the time to insert them.
Actually, I mean, this is pretty exciting for us as well because most of these dates I didn't even know about. So these are super fresh information and data.
Yes, very much so. Same here.
Apart from Australia, of course, but I mean, Australia is so far, and
the
time is
Faroes
so
one.
far.
And I did mention the Finnish one last time.
You didn't.
And we talked about the UK festival last time. Rewatch the last episode, Tadius. I did mention it.
Well.
There was some talk of a tour, but it's very, very
He
uncertain
might.
in early days.
He might have said something about it.
Look, on my side.
Must have been unconscious for a couple of seconds.
So the tour members split into two camps: those who supported Heri Gunnar and thought he actually mentioned it last time, and those who said he didn't.
Well,
I'm keeping
gonna
it
check.
safe and saying he might have actually mentioned it.
Either way, anyway, never mind.
Or
So
not.
next year, not looking too bad. Now the little guy, what shall I call it? The pandemic is back. So
I thought you meant Hans.
Hans may be the tallest one of us, actually.
Hans is actually the tallest in the band, yes.
Yeah, but he's quite small.
Oh, you mean narrow, slender, slim,
Yeah, the narrow guy.
or young? Yeah. Now everything is resurging and things are locking down again. But our first date is 4 months in the future, so it might be okay by then. But I understand if people are hesitant to buy tickets when things are as they are at the moment.
But at least Australia is open after 600 freaking days. They opened up yesterday, I think. It's unbelievable. I mean, 600 days.
Yeah.
Freakish.
Yes, quite.
And they might just close down again, I guess.
You never know as things are going. It's completely unpredictable.
It's pretty ridiculous in the Faroe Islands right now. They should really consider actually to close down again.
Really? Is it that bad?
Yeah, it's
like
much worse.
700
than ever.
or 800 infected.
Oh.
And
That's a lot.
there's like 10 people in hospital.
At least, yes.
So doesn't look too good at the moment. But, if some effective measures are put in place, it might go away over, maximum a month. Depends on what they do next. Crazy times, man. Crazy times.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We have some questions from our wonderful supporters on Patreon. And the first question comes from a gentleman called Niklas Eisbo. Are
Danish.
you planning? Probably.
Or Norwegian.
Could not be Norwegian. Could be Faroese.
Mm-hmm.
Not likely. Might be Swedish.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously unlikely. Are you planning or even able to do covers of the songs used in the Vikings TV series like My Mother Told Me or the Thorir Death Poem? Have you seen Vikings?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I haven't.
I've
It's a
seen it.
Norseman.
Yeah, this is a bit better. No, sorry, a Norseman is a bit better than Vikings, honestly. But I did see Vikings. It was very long-winded at the end, and but I did watch it to the end, and the final point I thought was quite good. But
I have
some
only
of the parts were really drawn out and psychedelic for my taste.
I've only seen the first 3 or maybe 4 seasons. After the kids take over, it just, I don't know, got a little bit too shallow for my taste.
It's based on semi mythological persons. They may have existed. They may be combinations of several historical figures.
Yes.
But there is a saga about Ragnar Lothbrok and his sons, as in the series. But they take serious liberties with
Yes.
many things,
Very
and
much.
puts me off. But the song My Mother Told Me is actually a translation from a song from Egil Saga, where Egil Skallagrimsson, at the age of, I don't know, 9 or 8 or something, kills another boy by burying an axe in his head. And everyone's, of course, outraged at that, but his mother says, "Oh, what a fine young man, you'll make a great Viking one day." And he makes a poem about that, and it is this My Mother Told Me. I thought the melody they put to it was very silly. I didn't find it very convincing as supposed folk music. And I've heard many covers of this song. I wouldn't do one myself. I would make a completely different melody if I were to set a melody to that poem. And I would use the original Old Norse rather than an English translation.
We actually could for the next album.
Might be. Interesting.
What's the song called?
It's My Mother Told Me. Then he references this Toter death poem. It doesn't ring a bell. I must have heard it since I watched the entire series, but it doesn't ring a bell. Do you remember that one, Tadeusz?
Wasn't she the lover of Björn Ironside, the girl?
Excuse me, I will
that
be
must-
leaving for a moment. Be right back.
I
She was
really
called
don't.
She was called Tora. Tora is a man's name.
Oh, sorry. Of course, sorry. No, then I have no idea who that was. Sorry, didn't watch it to the end. Maybe it was somebody in the beginning. I don't know.
So we have no plans to cover those songs, honestly, and able to. Well, we wouldn't be able to make. It's more, movie music style for the most part. As for singing it as it is, that would be no problem. But making similar style song might be difficult for us because we don't have full Hollywood orchestration. Vikingson asks, any opinions on some random bands? For example, Opeth, Type O Negative, Green Lung, or Belacor. Are you back, Gunnar?
Sorry about that.
No worries. Do you have an opinion on some random bands such as Opeth, Type O Negative, Green Lung, or Belacor?
Once again,
Opeth, Type O Negative, Green Lung, and Belacor.
oh,
I
that
don't
was
know
my
any of
opinion.
You don't know Opeth, really?
Yes, I know.
I know how
Opeth.
the vocalist looks like, but I don't know any of the music.
Oh, I know Opeth very well. I actually been to concert with him several times by
Yes, huh?
accident.
Didn't he
No.
sing in the band Bloodbath?
Of course.
Yeah, I like Bloodbath.
I was a huge fan of Opeth when I was younger, up until maybe the Watershed album. After that, they took a turn to proggy hard rock, and I mean, it's good in its own way, but I didn't really follow them after that. But like albums like Blackwater Park and Deliverance, I really loved them, and even the early stuff like Orchid and Still Life. So yeah, in the around 2000-ish years, I listened a lot to Opeth. Green Lung, I only know few songs. I mean, I like their hard rock style, but I don't like the vocalists, the voice. Typo Negative, I mean, sure, good stuff. Be'lakor, I only heard the name.
Ooh. I know, well, Opeth, they have, I don't know, I just remember this album being white and everybody calling it a bit jazzy or something like that. But I like that album, whatever it is. But apart from that, no. Typo Negative, no. The other bands, I don't know.
I've heard Opeth live a few times and on album, and every now and then I do think that the songs are great. He's a very good singer and an extremely good guitar player.
And a good showman as well.
Yeah, it probably is. I can't tell you. I'll take your word for it. I think at least 50% of the songs I think are I don't know. They don't catch me for some reason. I'm not sure why. Typo Negative, I've heard the name and I've seen pictures, and they have a very strong image, so I know what they look like, what their covers look like, but I couldn't tell you a Typo Negative song if it bit me in the rear. So I know nothing about their music. I don't even know what style it is or anything. Green Lung, Be'lakor, never heard the names before. That's it for me.
Hans?
No, I said before, I don't know any of them.
Oh.
I've heard of Opeth before, but I know that the vocalist in Opeth was in Bloodbath too, and that's the only thing I know.
Franco Trani has a question. Assuming that live gigs and traveling will still be limited in the upcoming months, can you imagine to make a YouTube stream from a live concert from a venue where a gig is possible? I mean, a sort of substitute for a real gig. I would imagine that fans would even sort of pay per view to support Tyr.
Huh?
A live stream show.
No.
We talked about that, but it's very. Live stream shows don't pay like regular shows. We'd still have all the expenses of setting up a show, which is not very little. We live far apart, and we have some crew that also need to be paid, and some logistics. So costs run up pretty fast, and with a live stream show, I don't really see how you would get any of that money back. So we'll just be digging ourselves into a financial hole unless we do it when we're already on tour or have some other occasion to be together and play. But even so,
I think it's very difficult to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's very difficult to make it sound good. I've seen many bands do it. 99% of the time, it's very bad sound. Doesn't translate good on the stream from the actual show. I saw Corey Taylor did on his solo project one, but it's very he had this pay-per-view, so a lot of people bought tickets, so they did a lot of preparation for it. that one sounded good, but like other people who do less preparation and don't use much money on it, it sounds horrible.
Mhm.
I can only imagine from judging from having seen regular bands and regular TV productions, it doesn't really, you don't get any of that power across as you feel when you're on a live show, and of course it doesn't sound nearly as good as an album either when you play live. So unless we had the circumstance to put some real work into it and at least have a few people in front of us playing for nobody or only cameras, it's like making a video. It doesn't feel like anything. You just have to pretend for hours and then someone else makes it look okay. But you're there doing it live. You have one shot at it. And I would like at least one person to play for. I heard some bands did it so that they had screens in front of them and people could pay for having being on the screen, so the band could actually see people listening in their living rooms or wherever. That's an interesting idea, but I think I'd prefer having someone actually in front of me.
Yeah. True.
What do you say, Gunnar? Would you play for one person?
No.
The wildest tour fan there is. Let's fly Davy from Belgium in.
No, I think, well, I think I agree with you. We would have to at least make it look good. You have to choose a very nice location to do this in, and it has to look very professional. And then there's the sound. It has to be good. No, I don't think this is doable. And honestly, this is so beside the point of being a band playing for audience. No, it does not work with me, at least. I mean, this is
just the.
But then again, at some point, if this terrible situation continues, it might be something you have to deal with somehow. Yeah. Whatever, what do I know? But
the most likely thing is, I think. Well, to begin with, we do stream from our live shows just through a telephone or an iPhone. Our booker goes to the back of the venue and holds the iPhone up and streams a song or two, or to Instagram also. That's not very professional, but you do get to see us and hear us live on Facebook and Instagram. But I do think the most likely thing we would do live is to simply stream from a real live show, if that ever becomes possible. You will have, I don't know, 2 or 3 cameras and someone putting it together, a small camera crew. Then you are at least already on a professional setup with audience in front of you, and that might be much more enjoyable to see and to play.
Yeah. Again, I think the sound wise it would be very difficult if you're not able to edit before. So.
Exactly, live is live. There's no editing, so be on your best bass playing.
Well, it doesn't matter how good you play if the sound is crap.
That is true. That is very true. The challenge is to get the live feeling, out through the internet, and I'm sure it takes a very special kind of sound guy. It's not the same as making live sound.
We have a very special sound guy.
We do.
I did see Metallica do some where everyone played from their home, I guess. But I'm quite sure that was edited quite nicely for the.
Oh yeah, you can't synchronize. At least it's not easy at all to synchronize a live stream.
So just like we are talking right now, they were playing, and I don't buy it really, but anyway.
No.
And it was only a acoustic version of the song. So
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah. I've seen it actually. What's the song?
Blackened.
Yeah, right.
Actually, a nice acoustic one of a Blackened, right? It was not that bad actually.
Yeah, it looks very homemade. Like they just put up their phones and recorded themselves.
More or less, yeah. But then again, it's Metallica.
Yeah, they could fart into a microphone and send it to the studio guy, and it will still be a hit.
Yeah. It would be a warm hit. Humid.
Yeah, and it would be called the Brown Album.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I can practically smell it now.
That will be the next invention. You
I
can't
can
just
see the reviews.
see and hear
the
it,
smell.
but you can also smell it. Like the. Have you ever seen Spinal Tap? I hope you all have seen Spinal Tap.
Yes.
Of course. Like in the beginning, when the director is talking about when he met Spinal Tap in the '60s in a club called Electric Banana or something, and then he decided to make a documentary, or if you want to say rockumentary, about the sights, the feelings, and the smells of a hard-working heavy metal band. Something in that ballpark. So, but yeah, everybody who hasn't seen that movie, Spinal Tap is the way.
Gentlemen,
Yeah.
have you been up to the mountain?
Nope.
Yeah.
Working.
Challenge postponed again.
Yeah.
Look,
And-
you won that challenge, so just
Yeah.
No. Oh, no. Everyone do it. I'm glad to wait for you.
Considering how the weather is like, it's not gonna happen anytime soon.
Still waiting. All right. I want to ask everybody watching to give us a thumbs up. Clink-a-shink for this video, because it is a likable video, and admit it, we are likable, at least Gunnar is.
Not today.
You will find us on YouTube. I'm on YouTube at youtube.com/herjohansson. You'll see a link in the description for this video. Dommertad is also on YouTube, and Hans Hammer is also on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description for this video. Gunnar will be on YouTube soon, but he's not there yet. You will find us on Instagram at tier_official. You'll see us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter as Tierband. On bandsintown.com/tier, you can track us so that you are notified whenever we play in your immediate area. You'll find us on TikTok as @tierpharaoh. We would love it if you could listen to your favorite tour songs on your favorite streaming platform, or right here on YouTube, and do it every day very loud so that the neighbors can hear it too. On tier.fo, you can buy a CD, an LP, or some merch, and you can sign up for our newsletter. On patreon.com/tierband, you can put questions directly to us. You can have early access to this material and some other exclusive behind-the-scenes material. We put out these episodes on the 7th and the 22nd of each month at 1700 Central European Time. Do you have anything to add, gentlemen?
nichts, gar nichts.
Then all that remains is for me to say thank you, and I hope to have you back here on Monday, the 22nd of November at 5 p.m. Central European Time. Until then, so long, suckers.
Bye.